Good. How are you?
My
Oops, sorry.
Nancy, whose mother just died.
Did you? I assume you heard about that. Okay.
No, I did not.
Okay. So, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Apparently, I say the word share so much. It's like
Nice.
so.
Nice.
So it was.
Alright.
Yeah. In the break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shots abound. Alright.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
Good. I can see yours. Okay, I can't see them. It's just a
Oh.
blur.
All right. with extra copies, you are welcome. Would you prefer to look on here, or do you want one on there?
We have extra for when
Yep.
you said look.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Okay. Well, the rabbis set in front of us the opportunity to pray in all different kinds of ways. We all know that there are many different ways that we enter into the space of Shabbat. For some of us, that is being in a particular space, a physical location that allows us to feel that way. I was just speaking with somebody about the city of Tzfat and how it's high up on a hill, and something about that beauty of being up high, the mountains, the forest, that inspired them. For others of us, it might be a particular other location. In the same conversation, we were actually talking about Joshua Tree. That there are many different spaces outside that allow us to feel like we're in a different holy space. And of course, for many of us, this place, this sanctuary, with its intention, its memories, its beautiful imagery, and all of the holiness that we have placed in it, that this is a sacred space. I'd like to suggest that there are many other ways to enter into a holy space as well. One is to find words that are meaningful, and so throughout our service, we'll take a look at holy words that have been in our tradition, that have inspired generations before us and inspire us today. But there's still others. There's melodies and music that goes right past what might be the thinking part of our minds, right into our hearts and souls. This evening, we are going to focus on that particular mode of prayer. And so for everyone who is here, everyone who is joining us online, we are going to sing into this holiday, this Shabbat, Kol HaNeshamah Shabbat, with all of our soul. We will be singing. I hope I'm not taking this away, that Cantor Cooper likes to point out that there is a homonym in the Hebrew as well, where we say Kol HaNeshamah, meaning all of our soul. You can also see, again, that homonym that might change the word instead to the voice of our soul. And so this evening, we give that soul voice. I'd like to invite us to sing that same nigun again without the need for knowing the words. Let's sing together. Well, as we create this space, I have to share just a little bit of other information. Yes, a little bit of housekeeping. I'll keep it short. First, for everyone who is joining us online, I'd like to invite that if you are joining us on Facebook or on YouTube, you can have the same stream on those two sites, but you'll find a slightly higher quality stream at tilb.org. There's a button at the top for live stream. And there's another reason why I mentioned that particular opportunity to watch, and that is later on in our service when we ask for names of those we might be offering healing for and those we might be remembering with our mourners Kaddish. We will be able to read the names of those placed into the chat on tilb.org. The other thing I want to mention is that as per Los Angeles County health guidelines, we are asking that everyone remain masked throughout our service, and that is masked over our mouths as well as our noses. And I imagine that many of us are thinking at this very moment, that is all fine and good, but you and Cantor Cooper are not masked. We very recently before the service took COVID tests and tested negative. And so we, when it's just the three of us up here, are going to take our masks off so that people can hear us a little bit more easily. But as an additional precaution, we've cleared the first few rows as well. Well, I mentioned that there are many different ways that we are coming into this space, many different ways that we are celebrating in this moment. And I firmly believe that one of the ways that we find holiness in our lives is simply by noting the meaningful moments in it. It actually can be remarkable to go by a whole week, a whole year, a whole set of years and not note the powerful moments and changes taking place in our lives. And so this Shabbat, we have a member of our community who is marking a very specific and powerful moment in his life. As he emerges into his teenage years, as he takes his first steps as an adult in our community, Ellie is going to lead us in prayer tomorrow, and we wanted to give him the opportunity to do a couple of things this evening. And so for now, what I'd like to do is invite Ellie and your immediate family up to the bima to help us light the candles as we begin this holiday of Shabbat and we begin the day of your bar mitzvah. For those of us who'd like to follow along in the words, you'll find the words on page 2 of our prayer books.
Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
I mentioned a moment ago that it is possible to go right on by a day and not really take it into our hearts. And so placed right there in our liturgy is the invitation to note how beautiful this day is. I'd like to invite us to continue on page 10, Mayafeh Hayom.
shalom. Vayafeh hayom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Vayafeh hayom. Shabbat shalom. Vayafeh hayom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat
Invite us to join together on page 7. Where is this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must remain. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while. From the flight of time, contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. We continue on page 12.
God, the maker of all, sure and strong. Let all of creation from mountain to sea hear our song. in all of God's light we rejoice. So now let us listen with all of our hearts to hear God's voice. Lechu niranena, yai lai 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 lai, l'Adonai, yai lai 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 lai, Naria, yai lai lai lai, L'tzur yishenu, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai.
We continue on page 20.
Yai lai 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 lecha dodi, yai lai 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 likrat kala, yai lai 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 penei Shabbat nekabelai, yai lai 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 lecha dodi, yai lai 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 likrat kala, yai lai 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 penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם מולטיפרת ולתהילה. יאי לי לי, יאי לי 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 לך דודי, יאי לי 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 לקראת כלה, יאי לי 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. יאי לי לי, יאי לי 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 לך דודי, יאי לי 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 לקראת כלה, יאי לי 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה.
I'd like to invite us now to rise and to turn to the door through which we entered our sanctuary, welcoming Shabbat as if she were here as a bride on her wedding day, us welcoming her to join with us.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובסהולה, תוך אמוני עם segula. Boi chala, boi chala. Yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lechadodi. Yai lai 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 likrat kala. Yai lai 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 penei Shabbat, penei Shabbat nekavela. Yai lai 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 lechadodi. Yai lai 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 likrat kala. Yai lai 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 penei Shabbat, penei Shabbat nekavela.
We continue with Baruch Hu on page 28.
Lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai lai lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Page 30. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvitvonem shanei itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmeroteim berakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Ma'avir yom umevi laila, ma'avdil ben yom uvein laila. Adonai tzevaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch alenu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv, aravim.
This is an hour of change, and we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we drop back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we drop back cross over. This is an hour of change, and we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back or cross over? Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadata, otanu limadata. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu, uvkumenu na'asiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
As we continue our Shema prayer with the Bi'ahafta, I'd like to call up our Bar Mitzvah Eli. I'd like to invite everyone else to please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם בבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך ובדתך ובראייתך בדרך ושלוחו בך ובקומך, וכתרתם לילות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים ללכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, לקחותכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Well, there's a commentator that wonders about the key moments, not just in our lives, but in the lives of the Israelites. And he takes a look at perhaps the first time that Adam calls out to God, says perhaps that is the first prayer. Looks at the moment when Abraham calls out to God with that rhetorical question, will not the judge of all earth deal justly? Perhaps the first moment of speaking truth to power, the first inching towards a world a little bit closer to a place filled with justice. And that moment when the Israelites were at the sea and they experienced a miracle, something that was so profound that they couldn't help but express themselves not just with words, but the first moment of song. A song that reverberated all throughout the different generations and comes to us today as well. We continue with Mi Chamocha on page 40 of our prayer books.
Kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh. Malechutecha ra'u Bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'eli anu ve'ameru, Ze'eli anu ve'ameru, Adonai imloch, Adonai imloch, le'olam va'ed.
Well, I mentioned that prayer is a calling out of what is around us, perhaps an expression of what we are feeling and also a noting of the beauty that surrounds us. And so this evening, so too do we note the canopy, the sheltering presence that we feel in this moment, in a space transformed simply by our voices, by song, literally under a talit, underneath this beautiful canopy, both above our heads and all around us. We sing out Hashkivenu. We are in this space, this holy space. So I invite us to sing together on page 42.
Eloheinu leshalom. us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai. Elo, that's not peaceful. Leshalom. Hamideinu Shomreinu Lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai. Eloheinu leshalom. Hamideinu shomreinu lechaim.
It is a rare thing to be all together and doing one project in unison, but each in our own way. One of the ways that we do this is by singing and offering harmony. We don't have to sing the same notes to sing the same song. Some of us sing notes that are completely outside of the song, myself included. And all of us are able to sing as one voice when we lend it to one project, one communal end. There are many other ways that we do this as well. And perhaps one of the rarest outside of a space like the one that we have been able to create tonight is a group of people together, offering a set of intentions and completely in silence. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's a little bit more profound, I think, than that moment on the elevator. When you're standing there, everyone's quiet, right? But there's something different. Different to being together and all of us saying, we are going to be in this space with one another. And if we were lending our voices, it would be like a myriad of voices. Instead, we are joining together in deep prayer and in silence. And so this evening, we are going to frame that silence. Because I also think that that is one of the things that allows something to be a prayer, is to set intentions, to frame it. And so we will begin our tefillah with a melody that has become our community's melody here at Temple Israel. And then we're going to continue our tefillah, our Amidah, which was historically, originally done silently, together and in silence. We'll join back together in a little bit. Well, to begin, let's open our lips together on page 46. I'd like to invite us all to please rise in body or in spirit.
Spatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Adonai, Spatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Adonai, Spatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha.
We're we're going back and forth because on the outline, one of the two of us has our name as introducing the Mishaberach, and I'm trying to encourage Cantor to teach us and introduce it.
Let's pause for a moment now and take this time to think about those who are in need of healing, whether of body or mind or spirit. We're going to ask those on tilb.org. This would be the time to enter those names into the chat. I'm going to read the names here, and then we'll go around the room. Miriam Elisheva, Colleen Carver, Darren Hammer, Steve Gratch, Laura Bleiberg, Bob Wallace, Bob Bender, Wendy Bender, Dorothy Kay, Joshua Kay, Renee Simon, Art Levine, Charlotte Axel, Robin Naheen, Ray Edelman, Lee Pask, Burton Gifford, Kim Gifford, Jordan Gifford, Brandon Berry, Wade Chernick, Sandra Chernick, Don Kaiser, Ellen Sinaga, Andrew Pelala, Annie Math, Connie Kopis, Barbara Weiglin, Yaakov Ben Eliyahu Veyudit, Erwin Spiegel, David Randall, Danny Grief, Sharon Eisner, Janice Robbins, Brian Endelman, Bill McDaniel, Mark Briggs, Julie Raphael Wood, Rachel Herman, Janice Krantz, Mindy Raphael Hyde, Larry Bloom, David Roman, David Keene, Richard Mills, Leon Bland, Carlos Sanchez, Rosalind Daskell, Christina Kubelka, Julie Dolan Garner, Nadine Picard, Tut Campbell, Brian Dunleavy, Tim Wong, Josephine Danziger, Amelia Costa, Ari Costa, Susan Lesser Seltzer, Jeff Seltzer, Judy D'Ambrosio. And if you would like to add any names, please do as my eyes find yours as they go across the room. Susie Bennett, Chris Gallness, Mikal Dufar, Sadie Perlman, Barry Perlman, Michelle Dunn, Olivia Escobosa, Judy Imey, Jeff Kohlberg, Linda Lord, Burnett Rudolph. We take all those names into our hearts and we join together on page 253 for the Mishaberach. Mishaberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema.
many, many years ago, somebody came up to Rabbi Hillel and said, "Teach me the entirety of the Torah, everything there is to know about Judaism while standing on one foot." Now, some of us know this story, right? Previously, the same person had gone to Rabbi Shammai, who is often kind of the straw person in the Torah, and had asked the same question. And Rabbi Shammai, having spent his whole life studying this particular body of work, said, "That is ridiculous. I couldn't possibly teach everything in an entire lifetime, let alone the amount of time that someone can stand on one foot." And the story says that he chased him out of the school with a builder's cubit in his hand. But the same person goes to Rabbi Hillel. And Rabbi Hillel has a very peculiar response. He says, and by the way, this is not in the Torah. He turns something around. He says, "What is hateful to you, do not do to another." The rest is commentary. Go and learn it. Now, what I love about this particular rephrasing of the words "love your neighbor as yourself" is that love your neighbor as yourself has this element of loving the other, loving yourself, but it seems like an instruction, right? But the way that Rabbi Hillel takes this phrase and turns it on its head, he turns it into something, I think, personal. He turns to this person who has asked him to do something that both of them know is really an unreasonable request. And he says, "I am asking you, learner, student, fellow human being, not to ask this thing of me. What is hateful to you, do not do to another." Let's begin right here and right now with this conversation. And I am asking you to be compassionate of me as a teacher. The rest, of course, is commentary. What is difficult about this particular task is not that we don't know what to do, not that we don't know to share love for other people, not that we don't know to share compassion for the other people in our lives, but how. And so I'd like to bring us to a phrase that we're going to offer in just a couple of moments. Ein od milvado. It's inspired, it's drawn from the Aleinu. Ein od milvado means literally there is nothing but God. I think that this is a reminder, an instruction, an invitation for us in the project of living with compassion, and that is to remember that each and every one of us are profoundly connected. And so throughout our service, we've woven the details, and now we come to a moment where we say simply, let us live with love and compassion. And how do we do that? By remembering that we are inextricably linked to one another, profoundly connected, and perhaps not even different at all. Ein od milvado. Perhaps not only there is nothing but God, but there is nothing but each and every one of us. There is no division. It is simply a deep and profound connection. We're going to offer these words in a little bit of a different spot, so I want to give us a heads up that we are going to start with the Aleinu, but you'll notice that we'll kind of pause and stop in a particular moment, and we're going to weave in this particular phrase in a chant, another practice of music in our tradition. So I'd like to invite us now to continue with our Aleinu. On page 282, I'd like to invite us to rise in body or in spirit, and absolutely as one.
לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. Yai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai. Ein od milvado, ein od milvado Adonai hu Elohim. Ein od milvado, ein od milvado Adonai hu Elohim. Ein od milvado, ein od milvado Adonai hu Elohim. Ein od milvado, ein od milvado Adonai hu Elohim.
Please be seated. Our thoughts now turn to those in our community who have died in recent days or in this season in years past. And so if you are joining us online, I'd like to invite you now to share the names of those that you are thinking of in the chat. We'll be able to offer them out loud in just a moment. And our thoughts and hearts go out to those in our community who have suffered a recent loss and are in a period of Shiva or Shloshim, the 7 days or the 30 days after the death of someone near to them. And so we think of those near to Dorothy Hartstein. We think of Nancy and Gordon and Mark and Scott. And we think of those near to Evelyn Hyman. We think of Heather. We think of those near to Percy Morris. We think of Aaron and Andrea. We think of those near to Ellie Brooks. We think of Rochelle and Jim, Kylie, Brooke, Grant, and Mattingly. We think of those near to Leonora Weber. And we think of those near to Madge Pizer. We additionally mark the yard site, the anniversary of the death of Lori Beckerman, Richard Bobb, Andrew Bricker, Jean Dorr, Alan Edwards, Ben Edelson, Louis Falk, Catherine Felsenthal, Lillian Fields, Leo Flores, Hilda Friedman, Rita Friedman, Morris Friedman, Dale Fudem, Sylvia Fudem, Jack Goldberg, Benjamin Goldhirsch, Stanley Golden, Arby Haley, Dale Halliday, Eva Ivner, Leo Jacobs, Irving Kosman, Mervyn Levine, Louis Meltzer, Miriam Shapiro, Samuel Shimolowitz, Eva Tepper, Jack Toledo, Louisa Wasserman, Fanny Wolf, and Frida Yellen. If you are here thinking of someone you'd like to share their name aloud so that we might all hold that person in our hearts I'd like to invite you to share their name as my eyes pass across our sanctuary. In addition, and together, we think of Estelle Klubach, Raul Prasadio, and Marcia Amir. I'd now like to invite all of us to rise together in love and in solidarity as we offer these words of mourning, the Mourner's Kaddish, which are on page 294 of our prayer books. Together. Yitkadal, Yitkadash Shemeraba, Be'alma Divrach Yute Ve'amlich Malchute, B'chayechon V'yomechon, U'v'chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala V'zman Kari V'imru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam Omeil Maya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitalev V'yitalal Shemei Dekudesha B'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, b'chaim alinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom mimramav, hu ya'asei shalom, alinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may the memories of those near to us, now and always, be a source of blessing. I invite us together to say, Amen. Well, we have quite a bit going on, and so I'd like to invite everyone but Bobby Horowitz to have a seat. There's always this is a little bit of rabbinic clergy mechanics that do you ask the person to come first, or do you ask everyone to sit down first? So, Bobby, thank you for coming up.
And also, I got tested so I could take my mask
Fantastic.
off, right?
Yes, so we are also, those of us who are on the Bima, if we have a negative COVID test very recently before the service, and we, and we are vaccinated as well, then we are inviting to take our masks off. So
Yay.
we can all see your smile, Bobby.
All right. I can see everybody's underneath the masks. Okay. Shabbat shalom, everyone. And congratulations, Mazel Tov, Elijah, and your family. I hope you enjoy every minute. Where are you? Every minute of tomorrow, because you will remember it the rest of your life. And also, I kept thinking during this service how lovely this service was, and how lovely it is to reflect on last weekend and the installation of Rabbi Fox, and it was so joyous. I still feel joyous about it, being here and seeing. I don't think I've ever felt so grateful to be a part of this community. It's wonderful. And welcome back, Bill. What a trip. Ay, ay, ay. Jealous. Anyway, I can't see this well, so I'm going to go on with it, but it might be hard. Okay, here we go. Announcements. Our Saturday morning Torah study class meets in person and on Zoom, and class begins at 8:45, and you all know this. Tomorrow's class will be led by Rabbi Fox. Tomorrow's Shabbat morning services begin at 10:30, and we'll celebrate with the Suzanne family the bar mitzvah of their son Elijah. I hope I said that right, sorry. Torah Center Parents Coffee with Rabbi Fox is Sunday, November 14th at 11. Hopefully lots of you out there in Zoom land will show up. On Mondays at 9:45, we have our new Joys of Jewish Learning class, New Testament study from a Jewish perspective. Joanne, aren't you doing that? Yay, thank you. Our Men's Minyan discussion group meets every Thursday at 9:30 a.m., and we all know to contact Alan if you're interested. What did I say? Tuesday at 9:30. I'm sorry, I get nervous. What can I say? Oh, I can't read. I can't see. No excuses. Okay. On Wednesday, November 17th at 7 p.m., we have our Joys of Jewish Learning class, Taste of Judaism with Rabbi Fox. That's how I got involved with Temple Israel, through Rabbi Moskowitz. It was fabulous. Okay. Also on Wednesday at 7 p.m., we have our Joys of Jewish Learning drop-in arts and crafts class. Come in the art room for some adult arts and crafts. I think that's with Eve. On Thursday at 7:30, we have meditative morning minion experience with Bill Shafton, available on Zoom. Our Tanakh study group also meets every Thursday at 10:15. If you would like to participate, contact Martine. On Thursday, November 18th at 7 p.m., we have our Joys of Jewish Learning home cooking and crowd pleaser Hanukkah cocktail latke party, cooking demo, and a light dinner. Whew. And if you ever have any questions about any of our classes or programs, look for our emails, call the Temple office, look for any of us board members, and our staff is always happy to help you. Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah, of course. Cool. Thank you, Bobby.
You're welcome.
So I wanted to, first of all, thank Adolfo for the being a keeper of flames in so many ways, including a poem that our own cantor Kelly Cooper wrote a number of years ago. And she had, although this is not her first songwriting experience, that poem is going to be set to music and shared with the community on December 18th for the return of Kol HaShabbat. I don't know about you, but in certain Shabbat experiences, the Shabbat will go by and I feel like I missed some of it, some of that ruah, some of that peace. So the Saturday afternoon of December 18th, we're going to take a moment. It also happens to be a point of transition as we go from Genesis to Exodus. We're going to kind of go play around with time a little bit, go back a little bit, take the beginning of Shabbat, and then work our way from a transition into Exodus. And the women of Shemot will be offered in a world debut with as many of you as possible. So if you're interested in participating and being a reader, being a singer, being a drummer, as Ruth will be, we're very excited. Just email kolhashabbat@gmail.com, and we'd love to have you join us. Thank you.
This is a community where every voice is such a profound part of it. And I know that I am so excited to be a part of this celebration, not just in offering the voice of our tradition, but all of our voices as well. And this evening, in addition, is that very same mode. This is the opportunity for us, Kol HaNeshamah, for us to offer our voices. And so we thought we might conclude our service with a little bit of a favorite. If anybody has sung Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, it's a beautiful song written by a group that is, there are Israelis and Palestinians in the group, and they are visioning this world lived with peace. You'll find the words actually placed all the way into our prayer book on page 353, a reminder that peace is a constant process, that we have prayers in our tradition that remind us, that teach us, that invite us to do the work of peace, but new words also must be written. And so a new canon is brought this evening and through our prayer book. Page 353, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Let's sing together.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam. Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Ojavo shalom aleinu, Ojavo shalom aleinu, Ojavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Ojavo shalom aleinu, Ojavo shalom aleinu, Ojavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Ojavo shalom aleinu, Ojavo shalom aleinu, Ojavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Ojavo shalom aleinu, Ojavo shalom aleinu, Ojavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are going to continue and conclude our service with one last thing. We can keep the schmoozing going. I'd like to invite up Ellie to lead us in our Kiddush and Motzi, a little bit of sweetness, not just in our hearts, placed right there on our lips, as our rituals are an expression of the feelings we are having in any moment. We take this sweetness, this joy, and place it right there on our lips. I promised Ellie that we would all sing it together, so it's only right then that we do, right? Help me out. All right. You'll find the words for the blessing if you'd like to join in on page 5 of our prayer books. Let's sing together. Eloheinu melech haolam, borei
Pori hagafen. Baruch
Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila, lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, kivanu bacharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat lechaim.
Chaim.
Well, let's continue with our, thank you. Let's continue with our motzi, a bread that is often woven together, a reminder of the weaving together of our community. A moment of celebration like this doesn't happen on its own. It is a celebration and a weaving together of the many people in our community, a coming together of our community to celebrate and make this moment, lift up this moment. Well, let's join together the words of Hamotzi.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'te'avon.
B'te'avon, mazel tov, Ellie, and to you and your family. Bill Shafton, thank you. What a
Bill.
gift for your music this Shabbat. Cantorial Cooper, that
This
was
was
fun.
so fun.
Shabbat
bring me
shalom,
joy.
everyone. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Yeah, you did it.
There's more oneg, more nash just outside of our synagogue, just outside of the sanctuary.